everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to make this key to my heart cookies, great for Valentine's Day, so stay tuned and I will show you how. Here are the things that I use: a 3-inch key cookie cutter that you can find on eBay, a 2.5-inch heart cookie cutter, a Wilton number 12 piping tip, fuchsia food coloring, a mixture of lemon yellow and ivory to tone that yellow down, some white sanding sugar, a fluffy brush, and some gold shimmer dust. Alright guys, let's get started. Okay, so here with the tip number 3, I'm going to fill in the cookie, but I'm going to try not to go too close to the edge. The first ones that I made, and you'll probably see them later on, I did go towards the edge here, but once I added the sanding sugar, it seemed like it wanted to push the icing very, very close to the edge even further. And so I wanted to avoid that, so I suggest leaving some cookie exposed. That way when you add your sanding sugar and you're shaking it off, the icing doesn't want to, fall over your cookie and then warp the shape of the cookie, and then you'll have like a mess. So I do recommend just leaving a tiny bit of cookie exposed. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it like that. It almost looks like a little locket. Okay, then really quickly, I'm going to pick it up. And then I'm gonna put my sanding sugar over it. And just give it a couple shakes. And you should get something like this. If you have some of this disco dust, it's like a edible glitter, just add some on there so when the light hits it, it gives it a lot of sparkle. I don't want to puncture my icing. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but I can see it from here. It looks really pretty. So now I'm gonna set this aside and I'm gonna move on to the key. Alright guys, so with a tip number 3, only because it helps me fill in my key a little bit faster, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in, and that's pretty much it. Now for the circles that I cut out on the cookie, I used a tip number 12, and I just punctured the cookie, the dough, before baking it, and that gave me the little holes for the key. You don't have to do that. It does kind of make it a little bit more difficult to ice it nicely because of these circles here. I just wanted to look, I just wanted to give it a more realistic look to it. So that's the only reason why I went with the circles, but you don't have to. But you do need to have at least one, maybe just one at the top here, because you have to put your ribbon there. Okay, so give this some time to set, and then I'm waiting for my hearts to dry, so then we can go ahead and tie them together. Alright, so I switched my tip to a tip 0, or you can use a tip 1 if you prefer, but I'm gonna actually be using the same icing that I filled this in, since it wasn't very runny, so it'll be okay to do those little lines just to give it a little bit of detail so it won't look so flat. And all I do is just do one little short line across and one little longer one, and then here I'm just gonna do one straight line. Let me see if I can bring down these peaks. And again, just one little line and one longer line and one straight line. And then just let it dry. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Now make sure that your key has had some time to dry. Give it about 30 minutes or so for it to develop a crust. That way you can pipe your lines on top. If you do it directly after you've piped your entire key, it's going to sink in your icing. So you want to make sure that you're piping your lines on top of a dry crusted surface. Alright guys, so we're almost to the end. Now I want to give this a bit of a metallic look to it. And to do that, I'm going to just use the shimmer dust. This is by Wilton, and I'm going to use a nice soft brush. Now you can use the luster dust. This is the super gold that you mix in with a little bit of alcohol or vanilla extract, and it'll turn it like metallic gold, like that'll look like real gold. But I'm not going to use that for this particular cookie. I'm just going to give it a nice little shimmer to it, and you will be able to see the difference. I don't want to go through that extent of having to mix it and everything when I can just give it a nice little shine, and that'll work. Both of them cost around the same. I believe they're about $4. But this one, the luster dust, you'll probably have to order online because it's hard to find. These you can find at the craft stores very easily. So that's what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna show you what the before and after will look like on this key. Here's the before, and here's the after. Alright guys, so now to the end part here. I am using a black ribbon. I just find that the black makes it look a bit elegant, and they didn't have 3/8 of an inch, and that's what I recommend. But if you can't find it, just use 5/8 of an inch. But I think 3/8 will be a bit better. But if you like this way, just go ahead and use the 5/8. Now I do recommend using the black because it just makes it look elegant and makes it come together. And so I'm going to just fold this since it's too thick. I'm going to fold it in half and squeeze it in through both holes. Now I don't remember if I showed you or mentioned how I got the little hole on the heart. I used the piping tip 12 by Wilton, and I just used the tip of the piping tip to make the hole. Now you're going to cut out your dough with your cookie heart cookie cutter, and then go in with the tip and poke a hole on your cookie dough and then bake them. So that's what I did. I just cut out a lot of my heart-shaped cookies and then went with my tip and then just made the hole in each one of them just like that. And then I went and baked them, and then it'll bake like that. So the hole should hold its shape. It did for both of them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold this in half, and I want to make this little design here. So what I'm going to do is fold it in half and then cut at an angle. Don't cut this way. You want to cut this way and then just trim it down. And then it should look like this. And then when you pop it open, you'll have this little tail. So that's what I'm going for. So then just gonna go through your key first, and then through your heart, and then just pull it through. You're gonna have a lot of like sugar pieces on your hand. Just shake them off, and then tie a knot. Just don't tie too tight or you'll break your cookie. And don't make this too long either. And then I just pull it up so I can measure both of them so they can kind of be even. And then just trim there. And then again, you're going to fold this in half and trim down. You get your little tail, and that's it. So you can double knot this, but it shouldn't pop open. So then you'll have your little key with your heart. So I'm gonna put these all together. All right, guys, that is all. I hope you like this idea. So I will be adding a few more Valentine's Day cookies. So I'm going to move on from my Angry Birds and my Super Bowl cookies, and I'm gonna start showing some Valentine's Day cookies since it's also around the corner. So I hope you give those a try as well. I'm gonna make them fairly easy to make, so you can give them a try. Alright guys, that is all. I thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Don't forget to like up the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't done so. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching guys, and have a good one.